Hey guys, JKMan99 here, and I'm here to talk about what the title of this video is. The Bills fire Sean McDermott, which is just... I think that's the first time I said that out loud, and I really don't believe that we've done this. You know what I mean? Because 9 years ago, I came here, and I talked to you about my disappointment with the Rex Ryan firing, and I gotta tell you, because of of that memory, I do have some hope because I was like, oh, like we're restarting, we're rebuilding. The Bills are finally starting to go in a certain direction, and now we're gonna throw in another coach, and I was very disappointed with that. You can go back and watch my Rex Ryan video. I was not happy that the Bills went in another direction. They hadn't hired McDermott yet, but it was clear that like Rex Ryan, I mean, I just never thought they gave Rex Ryan time. They only gave him 2 years, and they're like, no, you're done. And I think Rex Ryan would have won, or not won, but got into the playoffs in 2017. But suffice it to say, McDermott got into the playoffs in 2017. And because of that really helped keep him around. I think, like, of all the years that we've made the playoffs, 2017 was the big one because it was without Allen, and I know we just barely made it in. We needed Andy Dalton's help at the end, but that's what really cemented McDermott, in my opinion. And I know that you could say, like, oh, well, now and then we got Allen after that, and it's been Allen the whole time. But I don't know. I don't know what happens in those locker rooms at halftime. How many games this year did we come back at the end? And each time I'm always like, okay, it's time for McDermott to go in there and make one of his halftime speeches that somehow motivates the team to do better in the second half. McDermott has never been a huge, like, X's and O's guy to me. He's always doing, there's always very interesting challenges or very interesting play calls at times, or very interesting decisions. The painfully obvious one is starting Peterman a couple times, not only in benching Tyrod for Peterman back in 2017, but also starting him at the beginning of 2018. But I mean, I would say a couple of things on the other side of the coin for both of those. One, you could argue that the Peterman bench gave Tyrod the motivation. I struggle with that, though. I think Tyrod already had motivation. And B, like, both Allen and AJ McCarron sucked during the 2018 camp, so Peterman was the only one logical to start at the beginning of that season. So where are we at now? I mean, it's just, after 9 years, you see statistic after statistic of how well McDermott does. And I know that the asterisk of that statistic is that Josh Allen is on the team. But what really bothers me is that Josh Allen was not good when he started with the Bills. And I know that most rookies aren't. I'm not trying to, I mean, look at Sam Darnold right now. I mean, like, now he's very close to going to the Super Bowl. And who would have thought that, right? I mean, that Sam Darnold would have made it there before Josh Allen did. So I get it. I do. So because of Josh Allen's, like, lack of success in the playoffs, like, but because of Josh Allen's success, like, McDermott is the one that gets kind of undercut in that. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, like, it wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for Allen, like, everything. So therefore, McDermott's just, all his records, everything he's doing is just along for the ride. And when Belichick, oh man, when Belichick came along without Brady, yeah, I mean, the only thing they were able to do was get to the playoffs one time with Marrone Jones, but yeah, I mean, after that, though, and now Belichick's like the laughing stock of coaches. It's kind of hilarious, actually. That he wasn't able to do any of it without Brady, basically. And that's because Brady left the Patriots and immediately won a Super Bowl, you know. So do I make the exact same comparison? And the answer to that is no. But now we're going to know. Like, now we're going to know. The thing is, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know what Josh Allen can do without McDermott because we've never done that. And I think where this is going is not so much about playoffs, that chance to win the Super Bowl, which I've always been a huge fan of. I'm always like, we got to make the playoffs. We got to put ourselves in the competition, which McDermott has done time and time and time again. Even this year when it was looking kind of bleak there. But when you look at the tenured coaches, and then you look at it from Super Bowl appearances, McDermott was the odd one out. Obviously, Andy Reid has won a Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan has gone to the Super Bowl. And obviously, Harbaugh and Tomlin, which is a whole other topic, they both won Super Bowls, but not in the last 10 years. So, and that's where it goes. Like, there just needs to be like this, like, okay, there's this unwritten rule apparently that like within a 10-year period, playoffs or not, you need to go to the Super Bowl at least one time. And McDermott was not able to do that. But I mean, a lot of people weren't able to do that, you know. Josh Allen didn't do it, you know. I mean, but obviously somebody has to take the blame. So several years ago, I made the statement that that Brandon Beane will never fire McDermott, and I think that's still true. I think this was a Pegula decision, not a Brandon Beane decision. I don't think Brandon Beane was like, you know what? No, I don't think so, because I always thought they'd go out together, though. I am surprised about that. I figured that if Sean McDermott ever got fired, Brandon Beane would be going with him. Because McDermott basically brought Brandon Beane to the Bills. It was basically McDermott's idea for the Bills to hire Brandon Beane. So now Beane gets to stick around, meaning that whoever the next head coach is still from that McDermott tree. I know it's a little backwards, but that's how it is now. And oh man, what are we gonna do? I mean, like, what's the plan here? Because Joe Brady's like interviewing for every team in the NFL, right? So if we just hire Joe Brady, I mean, we're wasting everyone's time if we do that. Because I thought about Marv Levy. You know, now Marv Levy went out on his own terms. He retired. He wasn't fired. And he was older, much older. So who knows how long he would have kept coaching if he was younger. But then what do? We hired within. We stuck with Wade Phillips and we kept going. And maybe they want to do that to keep the consistency, and I get it, but I don't know. I don't like this. I want to be very clear on that before I'm going to give a hopeful statement to end this video. But I want to be very clear that I don't like this. We have had so much winning, okay? We've had so much good games. We've come almost numb to how awesome these wins have been. And we're just like, whatever, like it's just status quo. As opposed to like being so much more appreciative of all the wins that we've had under Sean McDermott. He's one of the best coaches, or maybe the best coach the Bills have ever had. And we're just like, whatever. And we're in this horrible era of Patrick Mahomes, and I get it. This time it was not Patrick Mahomes, and maybe that's why in this case. But this also wasn't. This is one of the worst teams that we've entered the playoffs with under Sean McDermott. And a great line. I want to be really clear on this though. Like, obviously, the great quarterback. You have a great offensive line. James Cook, amazing rushing season, and the defense did really well. You know, the Achilles heel was the receivers and a few positions on the defense that was banged up, especially at safety. Taylor Rapp, I think, I remember he was the starter, and then, you know, oh my goodness, we're down to Darnell Savage like in the game, and then Dane Jackson comes in for one play, and two of the touchdowns in the playoff game were off of just like sideline injuries temporarily. I mean, And I mean, you got to give it to Sean Payton and Bo Nix to find that. But I mean, that's really what it all came down to. And then, I mean, we could all talk about the Brandon Cooks catch / interception, but we'll talk about that at some other time, I guess. Because this is the McDermott video. So I just, it's just for me, it's just like, like we win with this guy. You roll the dice, so many times you're eventually going to get it. But like, if you're not in the room to roll the dice, we'll see if another person can get in the room to roll the dice. Horrible metaphor, but you know what I'm trying to say, I hope. So I think my message of hope here goes back to what I said before already. So nothing new. Josh Allen has never had a head coach that was not Sean McDermott. So kind of like when Brady and Belichick broke up, there was this sense that, especially because of Matt Cassel. Remember, Brady was out 1 year, and Matt Cassel, now they didn't go to the playoffs, but like Matt Cassel, who was the backup in college, who never played never played in college, suddenly nearly won the AFC East with the Patriots, and suddenly they were like, ooh, maybe Tom Brady isn't as good as we thought he was, and Belichick got a lot of credit after that, and that's it, Josh Allen never gave Sean McDermott that chance to see how a backup would do under his regime, because Josh just kept eking it out every time. Like, he's never been hurt. Except again, I guess 2018, but that was his rookie season. So what's so interesting about that now is that Josh is going to have the opportunity to play with a head coach that's not McDermott, and we're going to see if it is who we're going to find out. We're going to find out who is the who's responsible for the success. Is it Josh Allen, or is it McDermott? Was McDermott holding us back, or was he the glue holding us together all along? And we're going to be not even close to as good as we were under another coach. And time will tell on that. That is what we're going to learn. And I guess that's the hope, because we know what we've had the last nearly decade, and now I think some people have not been satisfied with. I mean, look, I'm not satisfied not going to the Super Bowl either. Okay, I want to be very clear on that. But I've been extremely satisfied always having that chance to go to the Super Bowl, and I think that's the whole point, And I get it. There's been so many. I mean, look, now it's 4 different teams, right? It's the Chiefs. Well, there's only 3, right? Chiefs, Bengals, and now Broncos, right? That's it. Oh, Texans, yeah, okay. So yeah, and Jaguars, if you really want to go way back to the drought. So we've lost time and time again. There's no consistent. You can't say it's Mahomes every time. So yeah, we're about to find out what Josh Allen can do without McDermott, and I guess that's the hope. I guess that's what people want. I don't think I really want that necessarily. I did not want that under Rex Ryan when he left, but then things got better almost immediately. There is one thing about the upcoming coaching search that I'm really excited about. When you could go back to Gailey, where it seemed like nobody was interested in coaching the Bills, Doug Marrone comes in and he jumped ship the second he had the opportunity. We've had other coaches also jump ship. Rex Ryan, I don't think he wanted to jump ship, but his tenure was very short. And I think that's why people were excited about Rex Ryan, because it's like, hey, this guy who's actually won wants to come here and coach the Bills. That was really cool. And that was still during the drought. That was still during a time where the Bills had only had 1 winning season. And that was just enough to bring Rex Ryan in. Now, we have had nearly a decade of winning. I think the Bills' coaching job, especially with Josh Allen, is basically the hottest coaching job in the NFL right now, all right? So we are going to get the best candidates in here applying to be the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. And because of that, I think there is a really good opportunity to basically find a way to get the best head coach in the NFL currently. The question is, of course, will the Bills be able to pull that off? I mean, I've already seen Kevin Stefanski, nice. The Browns head coach is now the head coach of the Falcons. What? So I we'll see what people do. I mean, Harbaugh's with the Giants. I think that was a good hire for the Giants. But now it's just like, the Bills are just going to be able to have their pick. You know what I mean? The best options are going to interview with the Bills, and I am very excited about that. There's this guy named McDermott that's really good. Maybe I'm kidding. If the Bills can go to the Super Bowl now, then clearly it's the right move. And I will say this as a final point, and I think it's a decent one. I think it stands to reason Sean McDermott's got to find a head coaching job, right? But I guess the question is, will that team be excited about it? And I think that's where the Bills are thinking. Because, when I think about that, I'm not sure I would be excited about getting McDermott. I was excited about getting Rex Ryan. I don't know about McDermott. And the reason I say that is because, I was thinking about Tomlin. Because obviously Harbaugh's already been hired. So I'm like, ooh, what if we got Tomlin? And I'm like, no, I don't want Tomlin. Because Tomlin works specifically with the Steelers. The Steelers always win, right? You throw any head coach in there, they're going to win. It wasn't anything Tomlin special, in my opinion. And maybe that's what I think other teams are going to be thinking about McDermott, that this wasn't McDermott special because of Allen. So, very similar comparison. All right, guys, leave some comments. Let me know what you think about the firing of Sean McDermott. I do not like it, but I am still hopeful for the future, because what else can we do? Alright guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe when you leave the page. And as always, take care.